Hello and welcome back to another Duncan Codes. My name is Duncan and today we're continuing with the University of Helsinki's massive open online course, and we're continuing specifically with our journey on object-oriented programming. Sometimes an empty line finds its way into a file. Skipping an empty line can be done using the command continue and the isEmpty method of the string. In the example below, we read from a file. Reading data is straightforward. So we've got everything that we're used to. But here we've got if line is empty, it will continue, so it will continue with the next iteration of the loop. The world is full of data that are related to one another. These form collections. For example, personal information can include name, date of birth and phone number. Address information, on the other hand, can include country, city, street address, postal number and so on. Data is often stored in files using a specific format. One such format that's already familiar to us is comma-separated values, data that is separated by commas. So we've got an example here. So again, we're using bits that are very, very similar. We've got an introduction of an array down here, and the array is being populated, and we're looking for a comma to split the data. So if you imagine, we've got, what have we got here? So VP here is our 0th element, because remember arrays start at 0. And the age here is our first element. So what we're doing here is storing first part of our array in the variable string, and then we're storing the second part in our variable age, and then we're able to print that out. Let's have a look at this one then. So reading the same data from a file called record.txt would look like this. So again, they're using the normal while loop that we're used to. We've got an array here, and we're looking to split the array at the commas. I don't quite remember looking at comma separated values, but let's just bring one up just so I can, just if there's anyone who can't remember them, you can see. Here we go. So they are a bit of a mess. Can I make that bigger? So they look a bit of a mess, don't they? If you look in between each one of these values, you can see that they're separated by a comma. So even these blank values down here still have commas in between them. So we can look at this column here as our 0th column. The next column, which is modern, juries, Lambesi here, they're our second column, so 0th, first, and then third. And we can separate those out into arrays. So here, like before, we've got name, which is taking the 0th part, or the very first element, and age, which is taking the first part, which is in effect the second, as we would count it. Let's close that. So, records from a file. In this exercise, we'll be working with files stored in CSV format that contain names and ages separated by commas. The file format may look like this. Your task is to write a program that first prompts the user for the name of the file they want to read. The program then prints the content of the file in the following way. We're assuming below that the output is from the above mentioned file. Okay. So actually, this is going to be pretty much exactly what we need here. The only thing that we need to add in is the scanner. So let us find our correct project. So records from a file, let's find the main. There we go. So let's put this in a new method. Let's call it public static and void records from file. And then we're going to need to pass a file name, so string file name, and we can make a string here. File name is equal to scanner.nextLine, like that. So when we call records from file, we pass in the file like that. So that's good. Right, so now we need our while loop. So we can say while, we haven't got a scanner, have we? So we need to add a scanner in. So while scanner dot has next line. So what I'll do is I'll rename my scanner here to reader. And I'll put my scanner up here just in case we need it elsewhere. So private static scanner reader equals, oh my days, new scanner and then this is going to be system.in because we're going to take the input. Hang on, what are we doing with this one? This is going to be our scanner, isn't it, that reads through the data, so that's not going to take the input. We've already done that in the main. So we've got our reader scanner, that's good. Just move that up a line, there we go. Inside there, we're going to do string, line or row. In fact, I'm going to make my string outside the while loop, but inside the method. String, row. Then we can say row equals reader dot next line, like that. And then we're going to start using our array. So I'm going to create my array outside the loop as well. So string parts, and then what else have we got? So actually I'm going to call this one name, and then leave that for now. And we're going to say that name is equal to reader dot split, and then this is where we put our quotes and comma in, like that. Can't find method split. Okay. Here we go. So it's because I was using the scanner, not the variable. Oh, hang on, no, that wouldn't be right, would it? Because that's going to be our string, so we need to split our array. So let's change this to array. That can be array. So array equals row dot split, and then we can put name and we're going to say that name is equal to array 0, like that, and then we can do int age, and we can say that age is equal to integer dot value of, and then that's going to be array 1, and then we need to print out here. I wonder if we could make this string and then return what we're going to return. We're going to return name plus comma age plus age plus years. Let's think, what's that? Variable name might not have been initialized, so name needs that. Age needs that. Oh, didn't put the equals in. There we go. Okay. So let's just have a quick look. Your task is to write a program, so it needs to ask us for the name of a file, which we've got here. That's being passed there. I haven't put my try catch in, have I? So let's come back here and do try scanner. So this is meant to be the reader one. Equals new scanner, and then paths.get. And in between there, we're going to pass file name. Open that. That's going to put a catch in for us. There we go. Just change this. Oops. There we are. Let's get rid of that. I don't know why I put that there. Okay, so we've got our scanner, got our file name, while reader. There's next line. Okay, let's just tidy it up. So Control A and then Alt Shift and F. Let's give that a test and see what we get back. We've got a fail. Let's see what we got. The output should contain the line Suli, age 32 years, It doesn't actually tell us. Oh, I've not. That might be because I used a return statement. So let's change this then. So let's change this to. I wonder if we can wrap that in the system out. I don't know that we can. But I wonder if we can wrap this in a statement. So system.in.system.out.print line. Let's see what happens when we do that. If that doesn't work, I'll just take it out and I'll put it back in as a void. So we've got the output was Leno. Interesting. Let's see what we've got here then. And the input is Sorely 32 blah blah blah. The output should contain Sorely 32. I didn't read that. The word year should be formatted based on the age. So in this example, it will always print out years. So we need to put an if statement in. So if age equals 0 and age equals 1, actually it'll just be age equals 1, won't it? Because you are 1 year old, and for the rest of them it's different. So if age equals 1, we'll pinch that, put that in there, change that to that. Okay, let's give that a whirl. Hopefully every time we're getting a little bit closer. Although I suppose I should have had some pass even with that, because the years ones should have passed. Okay, where we're getting leaner, and let's just try it a different way. Actually, I didn't want to cancel all of that, did I? Because that's got the printout message, so we can just change this. Oh. I suppose thinking about it, we still needed that if statement as well. So we need age. There we go, and if it doesn't equal that, then you might as well put this in an else. There we go, and then because we've taken the return statement out, it doesn't like it, so I'm just going to change this back to void. Oh. And let's get rid of this. Right, let's give that a run. Oh, it's all going horribly wrong. Right, so I have a pause, and I'm going to re-type the code out and see what my error is. It probably doesn't help that these aren't name. Oh, there's another typo. And let's think. So this is only going to print once, but we want it to print out with the array.
Mrs. Shenter said she had Mrs. iPad.
Nice. So as you guys can hear, I've got my little list in the background there, so he's going to be helping me with the last few minutes of programming, which is very kind of him. So we got that one done. Let's give that a refresh. Oh, did we not get that done? I thought I did. Oh, I put it in the... I put the loop in, didn't I? I need to format it. Why is that not formatting? There we go, and then let's get that sent off.
Look, there's two things.
Are you doing some drawing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's lovely. There we go. Excellent. So I made those couple of changes. I changed the variable here, did the year and the years, and put my if statement inside the while loop, so it printed out repeatedly like this.
Look.
Right.
Look all my.
Let's update our GitHub.
Black, fire. And what was this colour again?
That is, I'm not sure, pale blue. So this one will be completed exercise 4.
It was a blind pink.
Sorry, part 4, exercise 29.
It was a blind pink.
Part 4,
Blue.
exercise exercise 29. Git push U, origin and master. There we go, so that's 2 bits done. Excellent. So this looks like, oh, we've got 2 more challenges left. So we've got reading objects from a file. Evan, you going to listen to my video?
Yeah.
You listen to me read? Creating objects from data that is read from a file is straightforward. Let's assume that we have a class called person as well as the data from before. Reading objects can be done like this. So let's see, what have we got here? We've got our a people array list with a scanner accepting user input or file path. So we've got our array called parts, which is being split at the comma. Each part is being split into here, so name and then age, and then right. So we create, like, literally creating objects from data in a file. So remember, this was the way that we instantiated the person object a while ago. So now we're using variables from a file to create people objects. That's quite cool. And then we've got a little system out here that gives us the printout of what we've created. So in this exercise we'll be working with files stored in CSV format, which contain names and ages separated by commas. The file format may look like this. The exercise template already has a person class, and the class storing records as a body for the method, public static array list, etc. Implement the read records from file method such that it reads the person from the file, passed as parameters, and finally returns them in a list returned by the method. The exercise template has a main method that you can use to test how your program works. In this exercise, only modify the method read records from file. Right, here we go. So we've got our person class.
A blackbird.
And then we've got our storing records. So this is the bit that we're meant to edit.
For the big birds.
Yeah?
And also there's something else.
Can you be in a little chatterbox? So let's start programming this. So we're going to need our try. We're going to need a catch as well. So let's do scanner reader equals new scanner paths dot get, and we're going to put a file name here, aren't we? Oh, it's going to be file. See here, we've got the file already passed. Let's open our these. We're going to need a catch. So the catch is going to be exception E. There we go, so that looks good. So now we can add the bulk of the code in here. So we're going to need a while loop as well, because we're going to be looping through the file. So while reader dot has next line, we can do string line equals reader dot next line. We need to create our our array. So string parts, and then we can say parts is equal to, what do I keep trying to type new? Line dot split, like that. Oh, oh my gosh, it's all going wrong. There we go. We can say that string name, and then we can say name is equal to parts, and that's going to be at the 0th position. There we go, and then we can do age. So age is equal to integer dot value of reader. Parts. 1. And then lastly, we need to add all of that information to the person array. So where is it? Oh, it's persons. So persons dot add new person, and then we're going to pass in the name and the age like that. That's good. Let's just give it a format. There we are. Let's give that a test and see what we get back. Excellent, so that's
Can I get
passed.
my pictures out and done?
Yeah. There we go, all passed. And there we go, that one is done. Let's give this a refresh. Let's have a look. So by submitting a solution to a part of an exercise that has multiple, oh, it's a two-parter. So in this exercise we'll be working with files stored in comma-separated value format. Each line of the file contains the home team points and visiting team points, all separated by commas. You can see an example below of the file's contents. The file shown below is also included in the exercise template with the name data.csv. Write a program that prompts the user for a file name, after which it reads the match statistics from the file. The program then prompts the user for the name of each team and prints the data specified in the following parts for that team. Implement the ability to output the number of games played by any given team. We're using the above mentioned data.csv file. Okay, right, well let's get coding and get this one started to be written up. So let's see what we've got already. Actually, let's just have a quick look and see what we're expected to do in the second part, because it might change how we do the first. So extend the program so it has the ability to print the number of wins and losses for a given team. The winner of the game is the team. You may assume that the games cannot be tied. Below we're using the above mentioned CSV. Right, so let's give this challenge a go. Let's have a look. So we are going to need a array list. Let's start by creating a method that is going to populate and return our array list. So let's call it public static array list, and let's just give it data type string, and we can call that read records from file. We're going to pass in a string, which is going to be the file name, and we're going to need to have a return type. I'm just going to set it to null for now. Right, let's get the oops, I deleted the code that was there. So let's put in the system out file. Oh. And then we can say string file is equal to scan dot next line, and that should be good for now. So when we call that method, we're going to pass in the file name, which is going to be data.csv. And what we're going to do now is create an array list type string. So we'll be working, each line contains the home team, visiting team. You can see the data below. Okay, so this array list I'm going to call team. And so that's equal to a new array list. And then we can start our try. So scanner equals new scanner. And then paths dot get file, so that's going to be file. Then we can put a catch in, which is going to catch a exception. And then we can just do a simple system out, which is error plus e dot get message. Okay, so inside our try, we're going to put a while loop, and we can say while scanner dot has next line, so just like we've done before. And what we're going to do now, so we're going to say string line. So line is equal to scanner dot next line. like that. We're going to have an array called parts, and parts is going to be equal to line.split, and we're splitting at a comma. Oh, like that. And then we're going to have a string for home team, away team, and we're also going to have int home score and away score. And we're going to say that home team is going to be equal to parts 0, because that's our 0th element. Away team will be the first element. Home score will be 2, parts 2. Is it not liking that because of the data type? Okay, that's fine. So we can do integer.value of, and then inside there we can put that. Cool. And then away score is going to be equal to integer.value of, and that's going to be parts and number 3. Okay, and then what we can do is return teams. Right, so we've got the basic code here. So we need to implement the ability to output the number of games played by any given team. Okay. So we're going to need a way to search the team. So up here where we've got the file, system out prompt, we can do the same but for teams. And then I can use a string like that. Right. So we've got our team name, so we're going to need to use a loop to check through each entry and compare whether the input team name is the same as what is found in the CSV file. So let's have a think. Can we use a for loop? So for each, let's just see what this bit is. So extend the program so it has the ability to print the number of wins and losses of a given team. The winner of the game is the team that has gained more points from it. You may assume that the games cannot be tied. Below we're using the above mentioned data CSV file. Okay. Right. I'm going to not write this now because I'm going to create another class for teams, and I'm going to use the teams objects to search through here. So let's go in and add a new class. I'm going to call this one team. There we go, and I'm going to, what am I going to do? It's going to need a constructor. It's going to need some instance variables as well. So let's start adding the instance variables in. So I'm going to have private string home team and away team. We're going to have ints as well. So private int home score and away score. Oh, what else? So we're probably going to need games, wins and losses as well. So let's add those on. So games, win, losses. Let's create the constructor. So remember it has the same name as the class. My constructor is going to use the home team, the away team, the home score and the away score. And let's add in this home team, Okay, so we've got that. We're going to need some getters and setters. So what are we going to use? Let's create a get team method. So public string get home team. In fact, I'll create the method, the getters and setters, and I'll stop talking so I can speed it up a bit so you're not sat waiting for me to do these. Okay, there we go. So these are all the ones that I think we may need. We may end up adding a few more in or removing some. But what I'm going to do now that we've got this class that we can create objects from. Oh, have I not used the games one? Home team, away score, home score. There we go. What I'm going to do now is update this code as well to now allow for the fact that we've got this this class in. So I'm going to start with the read records from file. Okay, so we've updated this method so that now we've got the array list, which is of type team, being updated using the constructor that we just created with the home team, the away team, the home score and the away score. So that makes it a bit more efficient. So that's good. I'm going to start going through and updating this code, and I'm going to rewrite this for loop as well. Okay, let's just quickly tidy up these errors. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I haven't done that. Right, I need to put my system out in, don't I? So that will come outside of the for loop about here. So let's do that. Right, I'll tell you what. I've spent quite a long time on this one actually. It's taken me a couple of days to get my head around this one. So I need to update the wins and losses. What I'm going to do is actually add some local variables to do that and get that one working. For some reason I just can't get my head around this one. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. So let's think, if I create these variables up here, and then what am I going to do? Right, let's give it a run and see what we get back. Keep everything crossed. Like I say, this one's taken me a good few days. This is good, so we've got some passing. Let's have a look and see what we've got failing. So with file Cats Mice 3234, Batman Superman 3031, when the searching for Batman, the output should be games 2. The output was 3 wins losses. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to have a whiz through my code and see what I've potentially omitted or included that I shouldn't have done, and see if we can get this working. So bear with me. Okay. We're in the middle of Storm Eunice at the moment, so I think my internet's not working so well. What I'll do though is I'll end the video here, and we will hopefully I'll answer this questionnaire, and then it looks like we're going to begin on part 5, which is looking at a bit more detail of object-oriented programming, removing repetitive code, overloading methods is really interesting, and constructors as well, primitive and reference variables, objects and references. So that sounds like it's going to be quite an interesting section as well. To be fair, all of it's been really good so far, I thought. Hopefully you guys are the same as well. So until next time, good luck and happy coding.